Hi, I'm Teresa Marie Lennon again. Today I'd like to talk about love. Love is a really good thing most of the time. They say only love can break your heart, but love is still a good thing. Real love is unconditional. If it's real love, it's unconditional. It means the love is there no matter what you do. Now, that does not mean that you have to love people that abuse you, especially people who sexually abuse you or sexually assault you or whatever. It's okay not to love abusive people. As a matter of fact, they call that Stockholm Syndrome in psychology. It's Stockholm Syndrome is when people identify with and care about and put people who've abused them on a pedestal, and it's not really healthy. No, it's not your conditions that you put on the relationship with someone who's abusive. It's their conditions. If they wanted love, they'd appreciate love, and they don't, and it's their conditions. There are no unconditional relationships except maybe with God. Relationships require compromise and making allowances for other people and adjusting your behavior accordingly, and you just can't be in a relationship with someone who is abusing the privilege, more or less, or being manipulative. Or you can still love them, but loving from a distance is a valid way to love someone. Love is everywhere. I believe that my higher power, that the spirit is love, and it's everywhere. There's one love, one spirit, but it's multifaceted like a diamond. There's the facet of love where you love your children. There's the facet of love where you love your parents. There's a facet of love where there's romantic love. There's all kinds of facets to love, but there's one love. Loving yourself is very good. It's a very good thing to do. It's a very good thing to learn to do. It's not conceit or vanity or any of that other stuff. It's genuine love. It's seeing yourself through God's eyes. A lot of people do not feel whole. They want to be whole through other people, and that's a sign of low self-esteem. You are a whole person. I am a whole person. She is a whole person. He is a whole person. Your kids are whole people. We are whole people as we are. You got to accept yourself for who you are and what you can do. And though our minds are not limited, we are limited by what we can do physically and what we can tolerate emotionally and what we can take mentally. You gotta love your mind. I love my mind. I love to think. I love to do things with my mind. Do you love your mind? That's a good starting place for building self-esteem, is learning to love your mind. It's important too to love the adult you likely are. I assume that most of my listeners and watchers are adults. It's good to love the adult you are. You don't have to get into all this inner child stuff, which is a little bit flaky to me, all the inner child stuff. You gotta love the adult you are. No, I'm not saying that. Even though it's a little flaky, it's good to nurture the child within. That's a good thing. It just should not be the entire focus of your healing. Affirm your good traits. In recovery, we do an inventory, which involves going over our good and bad traits and seeing where they have helped or hurt us. But affirm your good traits. You have to to some extent, be positive about yourself. Don't insult yourself in your head. Don't insult yourself in words. It isn't necessary to insult yourself. It's not loving yourself at all. Where are your strengths? You can count anything that goes on in daily life as a strength. Are you good at work? Are you good at keeping house? Are you good at raising children? Are you good at needlework? Are you good at... What are your strengths? Do you know what your strengths are? And we all have a pretty good idea what our weaknesses are. We pretty much know what they are, but are there exceptions to those? Find your passion. Passion is good. My passions are writing and art and spirituality. And my spirituality revolves around helping people that are the underdog. I like to do civil rights stuff. Those are my passions. And I don't let anything hold me back. What holds you back from... What decisions do you make that hold you back from engaging with your passion? People say we cannot truly love others till we love ourselves. No, a lot of kids don't love themselves. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't really love myself. I used to hate myself a lot. I'm not really sure why, but when we learn about our strengths and our weaknesses and exceptions to our weaknesses, we start to look for those things in other people, and we start to love other people too. So you have to really love yourself in order to really express love for other people. I mean, even people that don't feel good about themselves feel love, but love is an action as well as a feeling. The Bible says to love those that hate us. Jesus said that. But it's also important to love those who love us. You can't just love those who mistreat you and hate you and do things, your enemies. You can't just love your enemies. You have to love your friends too. That's important. And love your husband or your wife or your kids or whatever. You have to love those people. I believe that the highest form of love is friendship. Friendships are precious assets. They're very precious. I don't have a lot of family support, so my friends are my family. And I think it's important to keep good secrets and be loyal and praise your friends and love your friends and do love the action. In romantic relationships, you don't have to be public with your sexual identity. Your sexual identity does not identify who you are. You can public or as private with your sexual identity as you choose to be. It's perfectly okay to be curious about sex in other people's bodies. If you are concerned about being curious about people of the same gender as you, talk to somebody about it that you trust. It's normal to be curious about other people's bodies. It doesn't mean that you're homosexual. And it doesn't mean that you're not homosexual or whatever. You can be as public or as private with your sexual identity as you wish to be. And the rules for homosexual relationships go for heterosexual relationships. There should be mutual respect and trust and ability to be open, honest, and be able to communicate with the other person. That's important. The physical intimacy should never surpass the emotional intimacy in a relationship. If that is happening, it's not a healthy relationship. There should be the emotional intimacy there. The foundation should be there before you can have a healthy relationship. Another form of love is having a social conscience, a kind of global form of love, of loving many other people. I really feel like I love all of you. I love just about everybody I meet. But it takes courage to express love to virtual strangers. It takes courage to stand up for the underdog. It's important to love humanity. Take selfless actions. The bumper sticker, perform random acts of kindness and senseless acts of beauty is a good one. And you don't have to go around tooting your own horn if you do good deeds for people. Now, it's not necessarily necessary to go around doing good deeds to win love. That's not necessary. But it can make you feel real good about yourself if you do good things for people and for society. Sometimes love takes side with the underdogs. So sticking up for the underdog is a good thing, and speaking up for people that are oppressed can be a good thing. It's okay to be single. I want to point that out. I've been single more or less for over 10 years and celibate most of that time. It can even be fun. I really enjoy being single. I don't have to clean out hair in the sink, and I don't have to deal with anybody's mess but my own. I don't have to clean house for anyone except me, and that makes things easy. It's good to get out of bad relationships. I know there's a lot of stuff that goes on in our head that keeps us stuck in bad relationships, but it's not necessary to stay in them. It's okay to leave a relationship where you are unloved. You don't have to prove to anybody, including your partner or the world, that you know how to love more than this person knows how to love, that you're going to... You can't teach an old dog new tricks. I hate to use that cliche, but if you're with somebody who's abusive, you're not going to teach them anything by staying with them. You have nothing to prove to anyone. Then you deserve love just the way you are, and you should expect love. To expect love is a good thing. Jealousy has gotten kind of a bad rap, but jealousy is the other side of the coin of love. It can be turned into love real easily. Jealousy is not the devil. But when people act out in jealousy, that isn't a good thing necessarily. Jealousy by itself is pretty much harmless. I have something I call the will to love. I don't always feel positive and loving towards everyone. I'm human. But I act as if I love people, even if I'm not feeling it. Especially if I know that I love them, and even if I'm not feeling it, because love will come back to life. Let the love flow. Peace, love, and freedom.